Hey guys, how's it going? I'm just making a brief video about my experience with COVID. I got COVID in June of 2020. I was traveling to go see a friend, and I was going to see my friend a couple of days a week, and basically I was going to stores. I just wasn't being careful as I should have been, or I wasn't taking the correct precautions. So I want to say one day I just came home, one morning right before work, I came home and I was really sick. Like, I had bad diarrhea. It was horrible. So I was like, oh man, like, what the hell is going on? So I went to the hospital, and the first time I went to the hospital, they didn't even take me serious. They were just like, what are your symptoms? And I was like, I have diarrhea and I've been throwing up. So they were like, okay, give it a couple more days. 3 days go by. It hurts to the point where I couldn't even stand up, man. I'm just basically like a dead man walking at this point. I go back to the hospital, my symptoms worsened. They worsened. They were so bad. Like, at first it just started with vomiting, diarrhea, turned into a sore throat. That's when I was just like, I have to go back. I have to go back. I have to go back. So I went back and I explained to them like, hey, I have a sore throat now. And they're like, okay, they didn't really care. Again, so the third time I went to the hospital, I had symptoms of vomiting, diarrhea, sore throat. So I went back to the hospital. At that point, I think I lost so much weight. Now, I'm a pretty skinny guy. I'm like 120. I think I had dropped down to at least like 99 pounds at that time. So I lost a lot of weight. It was very showable. I'll add a video in to show you how much weight I lost. Like, my face slimmed down. So guys, here's the video of my face when I had COVID. I had no meat on my bones, which I already don't have. So I went to the hospital and I talked to the doctor. And I'm in the Army, by the way, so if that helps, if you're in the Army or something like that, you know how Army doctors are. Leave it at that. But I went back to the doctor and they basically gave me a COVID test. I got the COVID test. I received the results, I want to say maybe 3 hours later. So they called my phone. They were like, hey, could you come in? I had no idea I was going to be quarantined, isolated. I had no idea. So they're like, yeah, you have COVID. Put these gloves on. Put your mask on. At that point, I was shocked. I was scared because I'm like, man, am I going to die? What's going to happen to me? So, I was isolated for 14 days by myself, all alone. It was horrible. It was very, very bad. So during that time, I did nothing. I was just basically sick. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't swallow anything. And it really sucked because I remember like being so thirsty some nights. And I was just like, God damn it. Am I going to drink this drink and risk my throat hurting? Or am I gonna be like just waiting? So I want to say the first 7 days were bad. They were the worst. I couldn't swallow anything, so it was just that. I couldn't swallow. I was just hungry, thirsty. I laid in bed, ate a couple of popsicles. That helped me. Eating popsicles helped me because it kind of eased the tension on my throat. So I ate popsicles. It helped. So that was about around the 7th day that I was okay. Roll around day 8, I started to get better. Still having diarrhea, headaches. Oh, the headaches are bad. What I would recommend you do if you do get COVID or you do contract it somehow is to make sure that you are isolating. Make sure that you are wearing your mask. Make sure that you are being safe and precautious because you don't want to get it. It is not a fun thing to have, and I wouldn't recommend anybody get it. With COVID and having it, it was a pretty bad experience only because I lost a lot of weight. I could not eat. I had diarrhea. My throat was sore. I'm sorry. And that's about all I could really tell you. Take your precautions, make sure you're social distancing and doing all those things because those are the small preventative measures that keep you from getting it and rolling over into something bigger because, some people get it and they don't survive. I was a survivor. I mean, but you know, a lot of people didn't survive. The death toll is very high, and you know, nowadays we don't really know what's going on. So I would suggest that everybody take those precautions in being safe and wearing that mask. Gloves, kind of iffy for me. I'm not really big on the gloves, but the mask, most definitely. Social distancing, most definitely. You know, not going places that you don't need to be, like clubs, bars. All that stuff is kind of irrelevant right now. If you want to keep your life, if you want to save your life, I wouldn't recommend that you go to those places. But that's about all I have. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and I'll be happy to answer them. Hey, that's it. Peace.